All right, this camera's rolling. This camera is also rolling. Wood.
Peter had a woodchuck. That woodchuck pick a peck of pepper.
All right, ready? Here we are at Rcade Comics with none other than Mark Russell. How are you doing today, Mark?
I'm doing very good, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us for this. Just got a couple questions for you before we start this signing here today. What has been your favorite part about working on Batman Dark Age?
Well, that one's an easy question to answer because I feel like the favorite part of this project is always getting new artwork from Mike and Laura Allred.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas morning when I see my inbox and there's an email with new artwork, and it's a dream come true. Feels incredibly lucky to work with such talents.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. What has it been like working with DC?
Well, I've worked with DC for a long time. They're the company that first began publishing my comics, and I feel like that's a good thing because they kind of know right off the bat what they're getting into with me. I'm not going to try to fit seamlessly within the existing canon.
Right.
What's the point of writing something or drawing something that's been done 100 times before?
Right. So have you always been a fan of DC?
Yeah, I think DC has always been kind of the one that of the big two that I sort of gravitated to as a kid. I gravitated towards the most messed up covers I could find, and that was usually like a Batman cover. First DC comic I ever bought had Batman hanging upside down inside a bell, like he was the bell gong. I just remember thinking there was something horribly went wrong in this guy's day.
Right.
And I have to figure out what it is.
So among the big roster of DC characters, do you have any favorites?
You know, I don't know about favorites, but I've always had a real soft spot for the minor characters, for the people who don't really get a lot of airtime. Like, that's one of the reasons why the Pariah shows up in this comic. Like One Star Squadron with characters like Red Tornado and the Heckler, because there's not all these expectations built into them. And so you can just have a lot of fun writing them, taking in your own direction.
Yeah, absolutely. So what got you into writing and being a creator overall?
Well, I feel like I've been a writer for as long as I can remember. It's just that for most of that time, nobody was paying me. It's like you just do it because you have no choice.
Yeah.
Because there's something inside of you that needs to get out. And then eventually somebody recognizes something in it and they're willing to publish it for you. The impact of seeing most of what you're writing visually,
Yeah.
and then it makes the words mean that much more.
When you're writing this stuff, do you kind of imagine it in your head how you're wanting it to look?
Yeah, and it never comes out the way I want it.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that it usually comes out better.
Yeah.
And so I find that when I work with artists I really admire and trust to have a better visual imagination than I do, I try to give them as little direction as possible.
Oh yeah.
I just try to give them the dialogue and what is going to be happening on this page, and let them surprise me with how many panels or how many or what they do with it.
Out of all of your own work, do you have any series that's probably your favorite?
One would be Exit Stage Left, the Snagglepuss Chronicles, which I'm extremely proud of. That was probably the moment I realized that this is a medium I want to probably work in for the rest of my life in some way or another. And also Traveling to Mars, one of my more recent ones. And then I think up there with those is the work I'm doing with the Allreds on Superman Space Age and Batman Dark Age.
Okay. What are some inspirations that go into your writing?
It's usually things I'm thinking about or reading outside of comics. Books I've read or just things that are really bothering me. Most of my writing is fueled by my own paranoia, my own sort of fixations and the things that keep me awake at night.
So what is your favorite current comic series?
I think one that immediately pops to mind is Ice Cream Man, just because it's such a clever series and each issue has its own sort of really cool theme, and you never know what you're going to get from month to month.
Right.
And it's just really well written and drawn.
So can we get a tease from you for anything that you're currently working on or stuff that you kind of got coming up in the future?
Yeah, I'm working on an X Factor title for Marvel. So I'll be working in the X-Men universe for the first time ever, which I'm really excited for. And I can't really say for sure. I'm hoping that there will be a third book in the series of Superman, Space Age, and Batman Dark Age.
Okay.
So
That'll be
putting
cool.
that out into the universe.
What will that one be about?
Ideally, it'll be about Wonder Woman.
Oh, okay. That's cool. And do you have any advice for young creators, writers, artists that are just kind of getting into not just comics, but writing or just even art in general?
Yeah, I think the big thing is to not get frustrated. To keep writing in whatever means you can, whether it's a blog or it's a web comic. Just keep making stuff, because not only are you amplifying the chances, creating the odds that people will discover you, you're getting better in the process. And that's how I got discovered. I got discovered putting my stuff out in other ways that were not comics. I think you do other things and you get discovered by accident almost, which is good because it's really hard to break into comics right off the bat, and also good because it keeps you working on your craft and improving while you are trying to break in.
I think that's all the questions we got for you. So we really appreciate you coming out and doing this with us before the big day gets started and you get inundated with signings.
Well, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you.